And we're live. All right. I should get this right. Okay. Welcome to the Couch Lords, where we review everything about TV, movies, and entertainment. I am your co-host, Alex Manas. I'm here with Alex Monroe and Marcus Drew Steele. Thanks for listening, guys.
Hello.
And this week we're going to talk about. We usually talk about everything that we've been watching. We do have our run-of-the-mill show. They're not necessarily run-of-the-mill. I'm just saying run-of-the-mill because those are the shows that we tend to flock to. But we're going to do something a little different this week. We're going to talk about the Amazon pilot season, and we're talking about a couple shows that we actually haven't got a chance to watch yet, so that we've watched now, including Supergirl and Agent X. So let's get started. Hi, guys.
What's
Hi.
up?
All right, so I'm going to start with the Amazon pilot season. We got 6 brand new shows out right now, and so basically, like, if you don't know what Amazon pilot season is, it's basically Amazon will release a handful of shows, just the pilot episodes, and based on the feedback from their viewers, they will actually put those in production the following year. So, for instance, last year one of my favorites from the Amazon pilot season was a show called Man in a High Castle. Did you guys ever check that out?
I heard about it, but I didn't get a chance to see it yet. There was like 6 or 7 shows on there, and I got overwhelmed, and so I had to like stop.
How
Yeah, I
about you?
didn't see any yet.
You haven't seen it yet. Okay. So what that show was about, it was about it was a take on the U.S. actually losing World War II. And so the story basically follows like how the U.S. is after World War II if we had lost it. And it's got like districts that have been, or districts I should say, like pretty much huge parts of the country that were split up between Japan. The West Coast is taken over by Japan, East Coast is taken over by Germany, and then there's like a neutral zone. But it's basically under Nazi rule, and basically the Nazis took off. And so what happens in the pilot episode was that somebody discovers a film showing the U.S. winning the World War, and it shows all the the footage of people posting the U.S. flag and the Americans celebrating and everything. So I'm not sure what's going on. Like, I don't know if it's like the Americans actually won the World War II and it was some sort of propaganda happened where it didn't happen. I'm not sure what's going on there, or if there's something a little bit more fantastical going on.
Well, my first question would be is how did they get the tape?
Exactly. So I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to be. I don't know if the show's going to be, do a take on like a supernatural aspect. If it's like this tape came from another dimension or whatever, or there's some sort of other propaganda going on where the U.S. won the World War II, but it was kept under wraps somehow. I don't know.
Are they leading into anything as far as like, oh, there's going to be some development and we're going to find out just how, like, are they insinuating anything, or is this just a major plot hole already?
I don't know. I can't say. Okay, first of all, it's been a year since I watched the pilot episode. So I actually have to go back and watch it again because now the show is going into full production.
Wait, what's the name of the show again?
It's called Man in a High Castle.
I'm going to have to check it out now.
So yeah, you have to check it out. I think the first episode, I think the pilot episode was an hour and a half. It felt really. I remember it was being long. Yeah, it's a long pilot episode, but
You got that kind of time TV wise. It's too many shows.
I have that much time.
So so yeah. Anyway, so that's the whole take on the Amazon pilot season is that they'll release the handful of pilot episodes, and then whichever does the best, gets the best reception, best ratings, whatever, they'll put it into production the following year. So this year, I wanted to talk about 6 shows that's on Amazon pilot season right now that I didn't get a chance to watch every single one. If I didn't get the chance to watch the whole, it was probably just not me not being able to watch the whole episode. So the first one I want to talk about is One Mississippi. It's 26 minutes, and it's starring and it's written by and executive produced by Tig Notaro. who
Oh.
you know Tig, right? So she
Yeah.
has a documentary on Netflix right now, and she is actually famous for the stand-up that she did while she had just found out that she gotten cancer. She was going through some chemotherapy or whatever, and her stand-up was about her, her going through cancer, breast cancer. And so, and it was brilliant. Everybody, it was really well received, and she got noticed by Louis C.K. and she got really famous for doing the stand-up. So the show that she produced she's in the show, and it's about her going through cancer, and it starts off. This is happening while her mom has just died, or her mom is dying, and then going through that whole process. And I know it sounds really dark, but it's funny and quirky.
Wait, my question is: this a
Yes.
scripted drama or is it a documentary type?
This is a drama. This is a scripted narrative drama.
Okay, because it sounds like what they're doing is just they're taking the Netflix doc that they had and now making it into a series, episodic format.
Yes, but it's both her.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, it's
Okay.
more like a bio, almost a docudrama, but I think it's scripted, so it's loosely based on her life and her life experiences.
Okay.
And it also stars Casey Wilson. You guys remember her from Marry Me?
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
Happy Endings.
Yeah.
She plays Tig's girlfriend on the show. And this was I thought this was interesting. Diablo Cody is also a writer and executive producer on the show. So it's really good. I actually give the pilot episode an A. I don't, like I said before, I don't like to judge a whole show based on the pilot episode, whether it's good or it's bad. But just a pilot episode, a standalone episode by itself, it was just good. It was excellent. It was well written. It was quirky. It was funny in the right places, and it hit home for me. So I give it an A. Next one I want to talk about is Edge, which is a western. It's like an action western drama. It stars Max Martini, and Marcus, you might know who he is. He was Frank Stevens from Revenge.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Frank Stevens from Revenge. He's also been in 50 Shades of Grey, Captain Phillips, and Pacific Rim. He's been in a lot of movies. And it also stars Ryan Quanten, who was, I forgot his name, but he was What's-Her-Name's brother in True Blood.
Oh yeah, I like him.
Yeah. And then there's Yvonne Strahovski, who was starred in Chuck. She played Hannah from Dexter. She was also in 24, the blondie.
Yeah.
And there's this woman that I don't know who she is. Her name is Alicia Bachleda. Anyway, yeah, I don't know who she is. So it stars Max Martini, and he's basically trying to find the guy he's like, I'm looking for the man who killed my brother, But and so he is like on this warpath to basically get revenge on the man or the group of people who killed his brother, and one of them was Ryan Quanten from True Blood, and so he there's a whole story about him coming to this town, and he becomes a deputy sheriff because he kills the deputy, but the sheriff has an ulterior motive to blame some sort of. There's a whole web of things going on, and it almost got a little bit hard to follow at some parts, but some of the action and the characters really made up for that. So I don't think it was the strongest opener, but I thought it was a lot of fun. The acting's pretty entertaining, and I think I give this one I give it a B plus A minus. I think I'm leaning more towards the B plus. But if you like westerns, if you like action westerns, this is a good one to go to. Next I have on the list is Z. Did you watch that one, Monroe?
No, but I just looked at the plot a little
Okay.
bit. I forgot what it's about, but it's Christina Ricci, right?
It's Christina Ricci, yeah. So this is a little bit more of a period drama. It takes place during the Roaring 20s, and it's about the life of Zelda. I can't remember say her middle name. Sayer Fitzgerald, who is F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife, and the pilot is actually mostly about her rebelling against her dad, going out to these parties, socializing with guys, and her meeting F. Scott Fitzgerald. And Um, I have to say it was really slow. The pilot episode was very slow, but I actually kind of got nerdy about it because I actually don't really know a lot about the life of F. Scott Fitzgerald and Zelda. So I did some research on Wiki, and they had a crazy ass life. Like there's even like so basically when F. Scott Fitzgerald started getting famous for his writings, he got so involved in his work that Zelda would actually get kind of bored sometimes. So she would come up with some obsessive stuff. Like I think her last obsessive thing was that she was obsessed with dancing and we started rehearsing 8 hours a day, and she was really focused on that. But there was even one part in their lives where she like threw herself down a set of stairs uh, during like a party that they were having because she was having a tiff with F. Scott Fitzgerald. It's like crazy shit like that. And then he was accused of F. Scott Fitzgerald was accused of having an affair with Ernest Hemingway. Like there's all this stuff, like all this rich, weird stuff in their story, and so that's what I'm hoping to see in the show if it takes off. But again, as a pilot episode, a standalone, if you don't know anything about their story, it just seemed like a period romance, you know. So I not going to give this one a grade because I actually want to see if this takes off and it goes more into the depth of their story. Because as a pilot episode, just no. Next, I have Heistin, which is a comedy, and it's 27 minutes long. It stars Mary Lynn Rajskub, who was famous. She actually is famous for the show 24. Chris Parnell from Saturday Night Live. Curtis Armstrong, who has actually been in pretty much everything. If you saw his face, you recognize him. Lewis Pullman and Austin Freiberger, who actually they're both pretty new. But the show stars Lewis Pullman, who is basically he is like this younger kid. He's about 19 years old, and he has these delusions where he's friends with celebrities. And his family's actually worried about him because he's just sitting around talking to. In this episode, he was talking to Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers and Shaquille O'Neal. So he's like best buds with them, and nobody else can see them, so they're like his imaginary friends. So the story is about his family is really like just trying to help him out, like trying to get him to go to like these group therapy meetings and go, stay in in an asylum and that, or like try to get his life together. And so like he goes through like trying to get a job, but you can't do that, and he can't really socialize with people because he's socializing with his imaginary celebrity friends. And I don't know. It was quirky, it was funny, but I don't know. It wasn't like a hysterical comedy. It was just weird. But what I think would be cool is that if this show takes off, we could see new celebrity guest stars in every episode. Because they were talking about how like, which I don't think she would do this, but they were talking about how like he was also friends with like Oprah. And he said, there was one scene where he said that he has to go take his dance lessons with Shaquille O'Neal, and but he says like, I just have to go for dance lessons, and his brother says, well, who are you going with, Fred Astaire? And he goes, don't be silly, Fred Astaire's dead, So they had some quirky, funny moments like that, and Flea was hysterical. But we'll see where this goes. I give this one a solid B.
Good.
So, and then so these last two, I'm not going to talk too much about because I didn't really watch them all the way through. But there's the Good Girls Revolt, which stars Lena Hall, Anna Camp, who's also from True Blood, Grace Gummer, who is Meryl Streep's daughter, Hunter Parrish from Weeds, and Chris Darmantopoulos, who was recently in Silicon Valley. He was like the crazy venture capitalist. And so, and it takes place in the '60s, and the episode starts off with that's the Rolling Stones concert in Oakland, where they had there was a couple fatalities because they actually got the Hell's Angels to basically bounce for their concert, which I can't remember why. I have to really go back into that story because I remember reading about that a long time ago. But it was a mess, and so it's supposed to be about these female reporters and how they became successful doing what they do, and so and then there was Patriot, which is a story about this man looking for his son, who's an Iraqi vet and a folk singer. And I remember from what I saw like maybe the first 10, 15 minutes of it. It was very visual, very extremely visual, and it was well done production-wise. I'm not sure story-wise it was taking me there, but again, I can't say much about it because I didn't finish watching it. So, but that's it. That's all I have for Amazon pilot season.
Nice.
And so next, we want to get into Supergirl, right? We were talking about Supergirl last week.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So based off of the previews, we knew that this show looked terrible, and so we were going to give this a chance because we were talking about this last week about how how a female superhero should be introduced in whether it's TV or movie. So, what are your guys' take on this?
You go first.
No, I want to go last.
You go first.
All right. I'm gonna say this. I only watched the pilot episode. And it was really long. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it was still bad. Especially that opening scene when everybody knows how Superman his parents put him in that pod and sent him to Earth, and then so the story is that she's like his cousin, and she's older. She's about 12 years older, and she was also put in a pod and sent to Earth to protect him. But her pod gets stuck in what was called the Phantom Zone, which basically no time passes, and it was a way that the Kryptonians were from Krypton, where she's from, where I think they sent prisoners there, but somehow she got out of it and was sent to Earth. But an entire Krypton prison, had tailed her or something. And so I think that's the basis for the show. So we're going to see a new villain of the week because it's all the prisoners that had crashed onto Earth and escaped and whatnot. And I think for a basis for a show, that actually kind of works, but I don't like how they executed her as this young woman trying to make it in the city in this fashion, this magazine, whatever, and there's what's her name that plays her boss?
Calista Flockhart.
Calista Flockhart, yeah. She plays the bitchy Devil Wears Prada, boss and whatever, and it's just so typical, so stereotypical of a romantic comedy or something, Now I will say this: some good things were I thought the graphics and animation in the beginning was really, really bad. I think they should have just built a set and just forget about it, call it a day, not do everything CG, because the CG in the beginning was awful. But the CG during the plane crash, where she saves the plane from crashing, was pretty awesome, I have to say. The way they delivered that, I thought it was pretty cool. But still, I don't think it's going to turn out well.
Well, my comment is still the same as before. I don't like the show. I think it's kind of they tried to. From watching the first 3 episodes, I feel like what they've tried to do is make it such a female-oriented show that it's become very stereotypical now. And again, just like I said last week, we've seen How the Devil Wears Prada before, many times over, in many different lives and different movies, and this is no different to me. I felt like if they were going to do this correctly, they should have done it from a standpoint to where maybe she didn't have a job. or something like that. You know, I mean, this is Superman all over again. Like, okay, Clark works at the Daily Bugle and he puts on glasses, and obviously nobody recognizes him.
Yeah.
And now she's doing the same thing. It's like, well, we've already seen that.
Yeah.
So give us something new. You know, this is tired. I'm not a big fan of the acting.
And yeah, they're making it into the same story, which in retrospect they should probably. It would have been okay for them to have tweaked it. I was even looking it up on Wiki, and on Wiki it was a different story too. So
Right. So I mean, I feel like they should have probably went a different route storyline wise, because now they've gone into the mold of Superman, except it's a teenage or an early 20-something girl who works at a fashion magazine and her boss is a bitch. Like, okay. Oh, thanks, Django. That was just very random.
oh, Django's there.
Back in front of the camera.
That's Cat.
But yeah, so I mean, like, I'm not feeling it. And I gave it 3 episodes, and I'm not a huge fan of the acting. I do like the actors. I think they do fine. I just don't think that they're getting the material that, you know, this is not going to win you any type of Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
Not, and who's to say that that's what you're going for? But not riveting at all. So I put this in my fail folder, and I've got some other stuff in news that I want to talk about fail folder wise.
Okay.
What I and do you get to
Monroe.
hello?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was an echo.
Okay. I thought it was gonna be like the worst thing in the world, and honestly, it's not. Like, I had less expectations for it, I guess. So it was like, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But, like, it needs to decide what it's gonna do. It's like, like Mark said, it's like Devil Wears Prada, and then it's like superhero aliens. So, like, they need to decide, like, and it was just weird. It just seems like there's 2 parts to it, and they don't really connect and mesh that well for me. The girl in it, the main girl, she looks like Blake Lively's little sister, basically. She could totally be her.
Totally.
I thought that the dialogue was clunky, and, like, I'm a woman, I can do anything, and it's like they shouldn't have to say that to get the point across, you know what I mean? So it's, like, very obvious about trying to be this, like, feminist thing, and even though Calista Flockhart explained the whole Supergirl, Superwoman thing, it was a lame-ass excuse, and then even if that's the case, then they could have called her Superwoman. Like, the show could be named Superwoman, and then she could, like, live up to it.
What did she say? What did Calista Flockhart say?
She was like, I'm making her image, you know, to gain popularity for the Tribune. I called her Supergirl because I'm a girl, you're a girl, and there's nothing wrong with being a girl.
Mm. Oh.
You know, first of all, you're a grown-ass woman. Like, yeah, people can call you a girl, but, you know, it's like, so she can never really earn the title of Superwoman. They already pigeonholed her, you know, in that respect. And then just, like, best part of the show, I thought, was I like the guy from Smash. And then
I like Mehcad Brooks. I like him as an actor. He was in True Blood, the black guy, the big tall black guy.
Yeah,
it was Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
He's in Desperate Housewives, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him, too. Yeah. I like him, too. I think the actors are good. It's just, like, they're subject to the shitty, like, dialogue and Also, Superman is not a man. He's an alien, you know? And I forgot he was an alien. And I only have so much suspension of disbelief here. So when they started going into, like, oh, there's, like, an alien CIA, and, like, the planet's up here, we need to get, I'm like, fuck that whole thing. I'm sorry. I just,
Yeah.
like, the only reason I don't like Thor is because he's from a planet where, like, Asgard or whatever. It's like, I'd rather him get bitten by a spider and turn into Spider-Man than him come from outer fucking space where there's a bunch of Norwegian tall people. You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, I get the whole. If we're gonna go into that, I get your whole argument. But for comic book's sake, you know, comic books, whether it be DC or Marvel, are built on a universe, and so you can have everything happening right on Earth. There's got to be other places for you to reach from to build stories and connect and stuff like that. So I get that, but the way that Supergirl is doing it is terrible.
And yeah, it was choppy. Everything happened really quickly with like not a whole lot of explanation. Everything was too convenient with her sister.
Mhm.
Also, another girl named Alex. I mean, there's like 10 Alexes in this new like fall lineup. I swear.
Can we get a Letitia?
No,
A new name.
I was telling somebody the other day that I've noticed that the name Alex is becoming more and more popular in TV now. Like every single show has an Alex character or a character
Don't
named
get back off of your shit, both of y'all.
Girl, Quantico, Casual.
Yep.
What else? I mean, that's three. That's a lot.
There's so many more names. Like, I understand Alex is a good name, but can we get a Jeannie Mai, or can we get an Adrian, or Latoya, or something? Like, damn, these people exist.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, bottom line with Supergirl, I'm gonna watch the next 2 episodes just so I can like fairly assess. But it also reminds me why I don't like comic books, and so that means right off the bat, like that's a big con for me. Like I'll watch Guardians of the Galaxy. I love that movie because to me it's not super comic booky,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so if I like things like X-Men First Class, people like I don't know. I just like that's fine. If I like it, it's a movie and it's standalone, and it you know.
Well,
But again,
that's the hard thing for these, I think, filmmakers and TV makers to do is to try to find that balance between, okay, we wanna stay true to our comic book fans, but we also want an audience that that's not necessarily into comic books either.
well, the thing is, and sorry to cut you off, and this, I consider myself to be on the comic book front, same as you. And the thing is that I give you the perfect example yet again. People watch the show because they want to see what happened in the comics reenacted on TV. Don't
Right.
deviate from that, because that's what gets people pissed off to begin with. And
Yeah.
a perfect example of gone wrong, gone right. Take Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel's first season of that show was terrible. But
Mhm.
whatever they did, turned that show around in the second season. And Supergirl better watch out. And the same with Gotham and The Flash and Arrow and all of those shows. I know that you're DC. All of these are DC properties and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a Marvel, but they better be paying attention to what Marvel did, because Marvel show was in the trash the first season. And the second season, they came out firing. And the third season, they came out firing.
Well, here's the thing though with those DC shows, like I feel like the first seasons are like not good at all. Like I tried watching The Flash, I thought it was
I
terrible.
stopped watching it. I did never watch the
Stopped
Arrow.
watching it. I haven't given Arrow a chance, but I did, and I remember it coming off pretty cheesy. Same thing with Supergirl. Gotham, a little bit different because it was cheesy, but it was also dark, so it kind of worked. But I mean, those other shows, like they're just coming off like super. I don't
It's
know.
campy.
It's not even campy. It's not even campy. It's just cheesy.
And
So
I'm falling off of Gotham. Like, I used to be all into Gotham, and now I'm just like, oh.
it's good. I think Gotham is still good. I think it's pretty strong. But I don't know. It's not.
I think maybe my problem with Supergirl was that she never used her powers, and in the very first episode she's using her powers, and now there's like this whole like galactic war thing going on. It's like there should have been more of like a ramp up, like maybe just fighting like crime, like street crime, like human things to deal with, and then deal with real human issues like I
Yeah,
don't
there's
know,
not really much
Well,
of
they
a
tried to fit that
maybe
in.
an identity crisis, and then have the series finale ramp up to like this oncoming huge war she has to deal with, but like it's just too much.
But they tried to fit that in, but they did it so quickly, like you missed it. Because remember when she was at the office and Callista Flockhart's character was like, why does she, she needs to start small and work her way up. And then she went into the alley and was like, all right, I need you guys to help me with just things. And it was just like this itty-bitty montage of, I'm going to help a snake out of a tree and go rescue somebody from a burning building. And now I'm just Supergirl and ready to take on this intergalactic warfare. And it's like, what? Girl, you did this for 5 minutes. Calm down.
So her tights, they don't rip, and it bothers me. I'm sorry. You buy tights, you wear them out for an hour, you come back with rips. That is the most unrealistic thing.
And how does her friend know about so much about like what do they call remember like her cape got messed up, so he got her like a stronger cape and Oh, it helps. Like he was just like he happens to know about all these materials to give her a stronger
If
suit.
you're trying to base it off of, because Superman's doing this in Metropolis, and now, we want to take some of what they did with him and trying to get it on you and stuff. But it's just, I think they made a mistake already by referencing Superman, so now everything lives up to Superman and what happened in Metropolis, and now she has to kind of carry that load for, what is the city they're in?
New York?
National city.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it's another fake city?
yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
Ah.
the comic book show. It has to be a fake city.
So,
Of course.
anyway, to wrap this up, I'm going to give it a C, but I'm also going to try it the second, maybe even the third episode, just to make myself, like, a better person.
C
Well-rounded.
minus. I gave it a C minus, and I'm not watching it anymore.
I give it a C also, but I agree with Monroe. I'm gonna watch it because if I'm gonna stick to my saying of never judge a season by the pilot episode, then I have to give at least the second episode a chance.
I'm telling y'all.
I
I
know,
can tell
no,
y'all what
Marcus, I
happens in
know.
the 2 episodes. In the second episodes, her aunt comes, and like it's more bullshit, and it's like, okay, I can't
Side
deal with
note,
it.
Dean Cain, who played Superman in the
He's not in
90s.
the second episode.
Yeah, huh?
Nope.
He's not what? What? No, say it again.
He's not in no more. He was in that first episode. He ain't in it no more.
Just had that quick cameo. That was it, huh?
That's it.
Well, that's
You need to have Terry Hatcher come now.
Right. So she could reprise Lois Lane.
Oh,
see. But Marcus, I was saying, like, just going back to what you were saying earlier, like, do you think that they made a mistake about introducing Superman? I actually kind of like I agree and I disagree. I agree in the sense that Superman has gone all this time, and I know it's a bigger franchise, but I mean it has gone all this time without introducing any Supergirl. So with it in any like TV series, maybe I don't know, maybe some of the animated series they did, but with this one they could have made it more. They could have made it more standalone. Like why does she have to capitalize off Superman? Like why couldn't they just relaunched it as if it's a Superman story, just make it Supergirl. Just make it about her. Don't even mention Superman.
So that I don't harp on this anymore, just really quickly, what I'm going to say is, as I'm imagining this right now, if I was to do a Supergirl TV show, I would have it as a girl, kind of, I would use the outline of Superman, not necessarily come from like a family in the country and all of this stuff, but a girl who, finds out she has got abilities that are not necessarily normal. I wouldn't start it off with something that's completely over the top, like she can lift buildings and do all of this stuff, but she can jump a little higher than normal. She can run a little faster than everyone else. When she touches things or something, there's a little bit more force, but nothing that's like making you think superhero because she's growing into it, so that way you get to know her story. It's a standalone, and then at the series finale, I would be oh, your cousin is Superman. So then you're, oh, because you don't know, it's standalone. Obviously the title is Supergirl, so we all know, we are all in on it. But as a series and a standalone, the story is more about her and not living in the shadow of Superman. We already know all the fuck about Superman.
Yeah.
Nobody knows anything about Supergirl. So that should have been the focus of the TV show, and it's not.
one more thing, and then I'm done with Supergirl too.
Everybody's got one more thing.
her whatever little stupid pod thing from her alien stupid planet gets like put off its trajectory and lands on another planet, right? And then
happened to Superman.
Well, Superman comes and he saves her, and he's already older, and he just like leaves her with like people.
Right.
So it's like, or you can make the story and have her be under his shadow, and that's the point of the show, where like, she has to learn from Superman, and
I
they're
can
like,
go either or. I can go both of those ways. I can go standalone or make her Superman's sidekick, so you're doing a Superman show, but the show is about Supergirl learning how to control her powers from Superman.
It's like, are you kidding me? Like, that's so mean. Like, your cousin is supposed to protect you, and it's like, psych, roles are reversed, and this guy just fucking drops her off. Like,
He said,
bye.
fuck you, bitch. You're on your own. That's what he said.
Yeah.
There's already one person in here. He pulled up.
Gotta go. Bye.
Right. Okay, let's move along.
Yeah.
I'm over this.
All right, so now we talked about Amazon pilot season. We talked about Supergirl. I just want to give a quick thing about the new show I saw on TNT called Agent X, starring Sharon Stone. All I'm gonna say is that it sucked.
Right.
The story takes place. Okay, so Sharon Stone plays the vice president. She's newly elected, and Agent X is this guy. It's basically like it's come down through a long line of vice presidency, since the U.S. government started, where an agent would be at the disposal of the vice president to carry out secret missions or whatever, and it's so
Number
she
one,
shares.
what secret missions does the vice president need taken out? Like,
It depends. I don't know.
look
Terrorists,
at
whatever.
me.
Stuff that the president doesn't need to worry about. So whatever. So Sharon Stone has this dark history where she got into a car accident and her husband died, and so that's that. And they didn't really go into much like into the backstory of the agent, which I forget who he's played by, but it doesn't even matter because I'm not going to watch the show again. So it's, I mean, I thought it was a good idea. It was a good premise, but the way it was delivered, it was that Hollywood cheese factor that, okay, let's make this a fun, poppy Hollywood movie, but let's not make it with any depth at all. So, whatever. It didn't do anything for me. D is my grade.
I'm
So,
giving it an incomplete because he didn't even fill out all the requirements to get a grade.
right, there you go.
Incomplete.
Yeah, incomplete.
Okay,
What's next on our list?
y'all want to talk about AHS real quick?
American Horror Story. Monroe, I'm gonna let you.
I'm very frustrated that I continue to miss new episodes because I
Sorry.
hear it's getting really good.
It's good. So this season, or this last episode, starts off at the murder house from the first season,
That was so cool.
and it took place in like 1928, and Lady Gaga is getting an abortion, but she's like 3 weeks pregnant, she says, and she looks like she's ready to pop. She goes to the doctor to get the abortion, and she ends up giving birth to it, and so we know that.
It's some sort of monster baby.
Yeah. So
Was
now
she already a vampire or whatever? Did she already have the virus when she was pregnant?
I think so. Yeah.
How long ago did she get they don't go into how or when she got infected, right?
I think she said in like the 18th century, maybe when she was talking to Dandy's character. I still call him Dandy. So we don't see the baby for like the entire episode, but we know he's staying at the hotel in his own little room, and his plot is like Angela Bassett is gonna go and kill him, the baby, to get revenge on Lady Gaga, the Countess. Sorry, and so the baby creature, escapes with Wes Bentley when he goes back home, and then at the end, Alex.
Yeah, Alex. There's another Alex. That's right.
She finds him. She takes him home. We see him, and he has like an intense cleft palate. Liv Taylor found love in Dandy's character.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, they're like totally madly in love with each other.
Really? How so?
Yeah.
They are like there's absolutely like no leading up to it. It was just in this episode. Like you see them in bed, and they both say like I love you too, and the whole thing is the Countess like. So now Liv Taylor wants to tell the Countess because that's like her main side piece, right?
Well, okay, so hold on, back up a second. Okay, so Liz Taylor goes into his backstory when he was going into, I guess, transition. And so what happened was that he staying at the Hotel Cortez when he was, so he can dress up as a woman?
Yeah.
Is that what was going on? Okay, and so something happened, and then the Countess just shows up, and she is actually encouraging.
That was not this last one, though.
What's that?
That was 2 weeks before.
That was 2 weeks before. Oh, okay. So, okay. So I thought this was the most recent one. But anyway, so yeah, so they show that how Lady Gaga took him under took her under her wing, and never turned Liz Taylor.
Right.
So and then Liz Taylor had explained like how because I guess like because Liz Taylor was having an affair with um, again Dandy's character. I can never get his name. Dandy. Anyway, Finn Whitrock, the actor's name. But the way Liz Taylor explained it was Tristan. Yes,
There it
Liz
is.
Taylor explained it because he was like, "Why is it so good with you?" Like basically, like, "Why is the sex so good with you?" And Liz Taylor was saying that, well, because it's the mommy and daddy factor. Like, if you were an orphan, like, I have the both, like, the mother and the father figure or something, which is really bizarre. But anyway, so that's their love story.
But then so Liz Taylor feels really bad about it and like taking the Countess's like side piece. So he wants to confront her and ask her like, hey, you've turned so many dudes, and I just want this one. Like you're already trying to get like Cheyenne Jackson's character to marry you, and I'm just kind of waiting here, and so he. Liv Taylor goes to ask the Countess, and the Countess is like, well, we need to go talk to Tristan. And so she gives this like, it's kind of like a threat, and then at the end she's like, yeah, you know what, fine, you can have him. And then out of nowhere she fucking slits Tristan's throat, and now he's dead.
Yep.
So that's that.
That's the way.
Oh, the two Norwegian girls, or the Swiss, whatever, the white ass
yeah.
from the beginning, they came back, they're ghosts, and they're just like wandering around the hotel, and they want to go to the Fast and the Furious ride to see Vin Diesel. And so basically what they were told is that they need to find a purpose. And, so they don't get lost in like the murky waters, which is the hotel.
Yeah.
And so they like tried killing some guy, and that's not their purpose. So Alex, who's trying to get Wes Bentley out of the hotel because now she's a vampire and she doesn't want Wes Bentley to like know that. So she tells the girl
that their son is there and that she's there at the hotel taking care of all those kids.
Yeah, and she tells the girls like, you just need to mess with people's mind, and I happen to know this one really good guy to mess with. So they do like this threesome with the two girls, Wes Bentley, and then they're like covered in blood, and Wes Bentley has like a breakdown, freaks out, so now he's back home.
Oh yeah, he has a freak out because of Sally, right? What's her name?
Sally.
Yeah, because remember she just shows up in his bed.
Yeah. Oh, that was the son.
Was that 2 episodes ago?
Huh? Was
that 2 episodes ago?
I think so.
Okay, they kind of blurring together for me because I watched them both in the same day.
Yeah, he wakes up to his son, and he chases his son, and he sees the coffins in the pool. And he's like, what's going on? And then they move the coffins, and so Angela Bassett's trying to kill the children of the corn,
yeah.
and Lady Gaga's like, baby. So I think that's all that I can remember what happened.
Oh, and Alex, who did she infect and it got out? Oh, she was saving one of her patients. There was this like young boy, like a 12-year-old boy who was he was dying of like he had like a fever, he had the measles or something like that, and so he was about to die, and so she put his blood into his IV, and of course he gets better, but now he has a thirst for blood, and the next few days when he goes back to school, it breaks out. Like he kills his teacher, he kills the other. He infects another girl, and then before you know it, the whole class is infected, and they're feeding off the teacher, and then it's breaking out through the whole school. They had to call the SWAT team. Like it's crazy, and then they don't know what's going on. There's all these little kid vampires going home with their parents. So
he fucked up.
They get out.
The virus is spreading now.
Spreading, yeah.
I forgot about that.
And it's because of Alex. It was Alex's fault.
Of course, I told you I didn't like her.
Yeah. So I think Lady Gaga, when she finds out about it, she's gonna be pissed.
Where's Matt Bomer? More importantly,
he was with
Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
Okay.
something happened where like yeah, because like the coffins of the kids got removed and Angela Bassett knew where to find the kids, but she was pissed off that they weren't there, and then she tried to find Bartholomew, which is the little monster baby that Lady Gaga has, um, which I actually had gotten out of the room by the time Angela Bassett got there. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in Wes Bentley's case, and then Wes Bentley shot the little monster baby. And how did it get back to the hotel? Who took it back?
Alex did.
Oh, okay,
She
okay,
saw that side of the thing.
yeah. Okay, so she got it back, and she got it back to Lady Gaga. So this is like right after Lady Gaga had killed Tristan, and Alex had the baby, the monster baby. And she's like, "Well, he's hurt, but he's okay. Like I patched him up." And Lady Gaga was like, "You saved my son," and Alex said, "Oh, you saved mine." So I don't know what's going to happen if Lady Gaga finds out that Alex was the one who got the virus out. Like she's the reason of the outbreak. I don't know how she's going to react because she might be conflicted because she also saved her son. So
So is Tristan like dead?
as far as we know, because she slit his throat.
Yeah.
So I don't really know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
I have to catch up then.
Yeah. So that's what's going on at American Horror Story Hotel.
What grade are you guys giving?
Oh,
Hey, I get a solid A.
always A.
Always A. It was a good few episodes. And we know Kathy Bates is she's transitioning into Vampire Lady too, so yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, Jane the Virgin. Marcus, you go.
Jane is good. I like Jane. Jane, the thing I like about Jane first and foremost is that you don't necessarily take it seriously, but it's like what Manas was saying. It's definitely a telenovela. It's soap opera all the way, but for all the right reasons. First and foremost, Gina Rodriguez carries the show still. She's so fucking relatable. I like it. I love it. She's such a good person to lead this cast, and the fact that everybody else kind of falls in line behind her, and they do a good job. You can tell it's very rare that you have a cast that everyone has chemistry together, and everyone in the cast has chemistry together. There's not one person that I thought was like super awkward acting with the other person. Like every scene that everyone's in, like you can tell that they get along. I'm sure behind the scenes and mesh. In this past episode, Britney Spears comes to town. I was very, very skeptical of this, but it was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
And it literally had nothing to do with moving the story along.
Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing at all.
It was just about some beef between her and Rogelio.
Yeah. I love that they made her like this pop star robot. All of her dancers were behind her, just like walking, and every time they made a move, you like heard sound effects, and it was like, whoo, whoo, whoo. It was just like really precise movements. I think that definitely fit Britney Spears. I love the scene where at the beginning, Jane sees Britney in the hallway, and then Britney comes up to her and is like, "You want to dance?" And Jane's like, "Yeah." And then they just bust out in this Britney Spears dance, thing. And I'm like, this is totally not real.
That would have so been me. I was like, oh my god, Gina Rodriguez must have been so fucking pumped to film.
I'm sure to dance, and she did a good job. She did a good job dancing. I was like, okay, come on.
I love when she got so super excited and she tried to do like the fake selfie thing, but really taking a picture of Britney Spears. And then she got a picture. She tried to send it to her mom. She's like, "It's Britney Spears' elbow."
Well, when she was walking to the elevator, remember, she was like, all of her dancers were like, and then she got into the elevator backwards, and then she did that last turn, and you heard this sound effect. I was like, oh my god. So basically, the plot of the story is that they're still trying to figure out where Sin Rostro or Rose is. Luisa's back at the hotel and helping Raphael. Last time we left Raphael, he was sleeping on Jane's couch, and he heard that Jane was going to pick Michael on the baby monitor, but then he quickly turned it off when they realized that the baby monitor was on, and ran out to the living room, and Raphael was playing sleep, but he wasn't, and then he told Luisa, and so then they're trying to stop it from happening. Meanwhile, Petra is going to marry the Russian guy that threw acid at her mother. For a lot of reasons that she couldn't really tell Jane or Raphael, so she kept lying about it. And so then Raphael came up with the scheme to go see Magda, which is Petra's mother, and Magda wouldn't see Raphael, and so Jane had to go talk to her, and then she told Jane that the Russian guy was a cyber terrorist or something like that or another. But then Petra wasn't falling for it. She ended up marrying the guy anyway, and it turns out that he was just using her so that he could smuggle firearms, fire grenades into the hotel and have them sold again. And Petra's still pregnant. Michael, all of my suspicions about Michael turned out to be correct, and Manas is picking his face up off of the ground because Michael is an asshole. And me and Monroe said this from the beginning.
Team Michael. I was not Team Michael. Last time we were talking, it was Team Mateo. Remember?
I love it. Let me finish. So Michael's new partner was investigating him because she think he had something to do with his old partner getting away, which he did. And she saw him going into the captain's room and finding out who ratted on Michael. Michael thought it was Raphael, and so then they got into a fight. And then poor little Mateo's arm got cut, and Jane freaked out. And so then Jane sent Michael away and was not going to choose him anymore. Michael got mad. He went to the police department. Then the police department found out about him sneaking into the chief's office, and so he got fired. He had to turn in his badge and his gun. Michael walks out. Michael gets into the car, and then the what's old girl, the old partner? Nadine. And so then Michael's sitting in the car, and obviously when they do a close-up of somebody in a car, you clearly know somebody else is in the car with you. So we're just waiting to see who it is.
Of course.
And it turns out to be Nadine, and then the narrator's like, ooh, this is just too stressful. I can't take it. I got to go. Episode.
He goes, this is too stressful. I'm out.
And that's why I was like, that would be me, because you know how I am with How to Get Away with Murder and Jane. I'm like, this is too stressful. So that's pretty much it. What do you guys think?
It was awesome. It was great. I mean, come on, Britney Spears with her crazy entourage and all in sync and on point. I mean, that was the best.
Yeah. Did I miss anything? Or was that all?
No, I mean that was pretty much it. I think the whole thing with Michael getting to that fist fight with Raphael and they break something and then Mateo gets hurt in the process. Like that was bad news. That was bad.
I tell you what, I hated that they made Raphael seem like the punk, though, the weak one, and like that Michael was just this huge badass and like was beating up Raphael.
Well, Raphael was just taken off guard, I think.
I think so too, especially because he knew like the baby was there too. Like Michael actually went up and pushed Raphael while he was holding the baby carriage.
Right. So then he handed the baby little thing off to Jane and pushed Michael back, and then Michael.
It was ridiculous. It's like, dude, like he's got like really like I get you're that mad and you ready to to punch somebody, but the baby's right there, like
right.
The baby's in his hand, like and Raphael is probably like taken off guard too because his baby's right there,
Yeah.
But obviously Michael didn't really seem to care. He was so pissed off. All he could see was red,
Right.
So, but it's like I don't understand somebody getting. I mean, I know it happens, but somebody getting so mad where like they don't even care who else is in the room. They're just mad at that one person,
Mm-hmm.
Freaking baby.
As far as plot and stuff goes, I think they're doing a good job of kind of staying on task. It's the main plot obviously is where is Sinrostro, and then you have all of these little branches. Nadine's supposedly helping her, and now Michael's involved, and the baby, and then Petra's baby. I feel like are the main plot lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I was wondering like where this show was going to go after she had the baby because that was the whole premise was that she's pregnant and she's a virgin. But
you're doing a good job.
It's a lot more than that, So it's.
Oh, I did forget something. Abuela, she was going to go get her citizenship sponsorship, and they ended up not being able to because they got high off of that candy bar.
No, what happened? Okay, what initially happened was that Xiomara, who was going to be Abuela's sponsor,
right,
had like a conviction or something against.
It was like a felony or something because.
A felony, yeah, because she took the fall from her little boyfriend.
What was his name? Ned, something like that.
Some stoner surfer dude.
Yeah.
So, but then they were trying to convince him to actually admit that it was his doing, not hers. And that was the only thing that was holding him back from them getting, her citizenship. And the other thing was that, okay, so it was Jane and Xiomara that went to go confront this guy, and the guy gave Jane an edible chocolate bar, and so they were unsuccessful, and so they went back home, and then stuff happened when Jane got back. They were getting ready for their for this interview that they had to go to for Abuela's citizenship, and they were already digging into that candy bar, and Jane was like, "No, don't eat that," and they were like, "What?" And then before you know it, they start laughing and having a good time, and because they're stoned as fuck.
Right.
So, but I think that all ended up working out okay, right?
No, yeah, it did. Yeah.
This episode was awesome because Britney Spears, like, she was dope. I give this one an A+ because of Britney Spears, and also because when the fisticuffs happened, I was like, damn! I literally said that, and I woke my sister up. So,
I'm not the hugest fan of Britney, but this was a good episode.
Right?
All right, guys. So we're coming up on about an hour here. Do you have anything for news?
Yes, actually. The few things right off of the bat that I had was what was the show that we were just talking about?
Virgin?
No, before Jane.
American Horror Story.
Yeah, they got renewed for season 6.
Woo!
So they'll who knows what that's going to be, but they're doing season 5 right now with Hotel, but they were renewed by FX for season 6. The other news I saw on here was let's see, this is from Cinema Blend, and they said the TV shows. This was basically sort of a list-ish, and they said the 6 TV shows that they think would last more than a season. And they said Blind Spot was going to last more. They said the show on HBO called Ballers was going to do good. They said Supergirl was going to do good. I don't believe them on that one. They also said Limitless was going to do good, which I still haven't seen yet. Has anybody watched Limitless?
I haven't watched it. No. Did you watch it, Monroe? I thought you were saying.
I watched the first 2 episodes, but just because I can't watch it on my TV, I haven't watched it. So I'll probably go back and watch it.
And then they said Quantico was also going to do well.
Hell yeah.
That's
and
good.
Fear the Walking Dead, they said was going to do well.
Fear the Walking Dead, yeah, that's. I think that already got renewed for a second season.
Yeah, it did. They got renewed before the first season even.
Right, yeah, and then The Walking Dead has also been renewed for a 7th season.
Yeah.
So, and they said they have no plans of ending that show anytime soon. So we'll probably see that for a few years to come. I got some other little quick things. Apparently, Shonda Rhimes has admitted to killing off a character because she ends up disliking the actor.
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's what would happen with what's his name from Grey's Anatomy.
Well, they said that. They said that they had a disagreement and didn't get along, but then they reconciled. But then Patrick wanted to be killed off from the show, and so she was like, "Okay, fine, well, let's kill you off," because he wanted to go on and do other stuff. Okay. Like a mutual agreement, sort of.
Yeah, because there's been all this stuff going around the internet that how basically Shonda Rhimes is ruining everybody's lives.
But in a good way.
So anyway, so there's a couple other things. AMC is going to air an all-star John Lennon tribute concert in December. It's going to be Imagine John Lennon's 75th birthday concert.
Aww.
And let me see if I can find a date and the time. But that should be pretty cool. Let's see. No date and time yet. Oh, wait. Here we go. It's going to be taped on December 5th at New York's Theater at Madison Square Garden and air exclusively on AMC at 9 p.m. Saturday, December 19th.
Cool.
That should be cool. And then, let's see. What else do we got here? Blind Spot recruits Friday Night Lights Gaius Charles for a mysterious role, which we don't know yet. Top Gear producer is suing BBC. Jeremy Clarkson for alleged racial discrimination and personal injury. That show's been in a lot of trouble lately. Let's see. And Joel Silver inks deal with Lionsgate TV. Gets Fox put pilot commitment for Soar.
When you guys get a chance, Monroe, Google Rick. Hold on, what's his name? Yeah. Google Conrad Rickamora. He's my
Conrad.
he's my new favorite obsession.
Oh, I know.
Manas, Google Conrad Rickamora real quick.
Conrad Rickamora. Okay.
Yeah.
He's the Eric McCormick, the new Eric McCormick, I think.
Better, I think.
Well, in looks,
Yeah.
I think they look.
Oh, the guy from American Horse. How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah.
Oliver.
Oliver. Yeah. Oh, he's 36.
Yeah.
Holy shit, are you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
He looks
He's
great.
younger than 36.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wait.
Oh, hey.
Like I said, Conrad Rickamora is my weekly obsession this week.
I have a few pieces of news also,
All right.
but it's not good news.
Oh, no.
Disney is making another live-action remake of Hunchback of Notre Dame
And Pinocchio.
and Pinocchio and The Little Mermaid, but Hunchback of Notre Dame, they're focusing now on Esmeralda.
Good.
Whatever. Moving on. Toy Story 4 has added Patricia Arquette to casting. She's going to play a laid-back hippie mom, but that's all we know.
Okay.
He just seems like a laid-back hippie mom.
We've learned.
Person.
She does, doesn't she? Star Wars news. We have learned 3 new things about Lupita Nyong'o's character.
I read this.
Huh?
I said I read this. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Her name is Maz Kanata. Maz Kanata. She is a pirate, and she is over 1,000 years old.
Wow.
And Princess Leia is no longer a princess. You now have to call her General.
General Leia. Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
And apparently in the movie, there's like a slip up, and someone calls her princess, and I don't know. Marcus, this is your favorite.
Huh?
Huh? What'd you say?
I said something else with Maz's character too. I read in that same, I think it was MTV who did it. They said that apparently she's got some kind of magical powers with her eyes, and it's something why she wears like these huge goggles or something like that.
Oh.
And so that's going to be pretty interesting.
That's exciting. Okay, your favorite piece of news, Marcus. Gem and the Holograms has been pulled from the theaters after 2 weeks.
Told y'all.
A mere 2 weeks. 14
It's like the worst performing movie ever in the history of movies.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Well, hey, you got to say that one thing though. It made history.
Somehow.
So this doesn't have anything to do with entertainment or TV, but I thought we should mention this because this is what's going on today. Paris has been under a really huge terrorist attack today, and so we just want to say that our hearts and thoughts are going out to everybody who is dealing with that stuff. I mean, it's crazy what's going on over there. I guess it's a huge attack. They closed the borders and everything. So thoughts and prayers are going out to them today. That's all.
That was fine.
So anything else?
I started watching The Leftovers, and
I saw a really good episode of The Leftovers, actually, and when I got sick of that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Monroe!
you're
Monroe.
frozen to me right now.
Did we lose Monroe?
Wait, hello?
No?
Hey, there you go.
Sorry,
Okay,
I'm
we're back.
frozen. I can hear you.
Oh, I said that I'm sorry to I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I saw a really good episode of The Leftovers recently. But go ahead.
Well, I just started watching it. I think I'm on like the 2nd or 3rd episode. I don't know what season they're on, but I'm watching the first one. And Xiomara's in it. She plays the high school coach of some sport.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Marcus, do you know anything about that show?
I'm sorry, I'm Googling Conrad Rickamore right now. You have to forgive me. I'm still on my weekly obsession right now. So carry on.
Stay with us, Marcus. Stay with us. We're almost done, I promise. So basically what The Leftovers is about is like, what was it, 2% of the world's population has just vanished, completely disappeared, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's basically, it's dealing with like with people who are dealing with that loss. There's some people who have lost like their children, some people lost their parents or whatever, but And there's one woman in particular, and this is from an especially good episode that I saw because I wasn't really that into the show, but this one woman had lost her whole family. She lost her 2 children and her husband, that they just vanished. And so there was a really interesting episode based on her when she's just trying to get to like this conference in New York because she's been invited to speak at it because she works for this. They started this division where they interview people who have lost somebody, and they're trying to find a pattern about these people who had vanished. So anyway, it was really good. It was a really good episode. So I think it's actually reeled me back into watching the show because it got renewed for a second season.
Oh, did it? Good.
Yeah, I got renewed for a second season. I think it was the show that was taking over for True Blood after it ended. So.
Nice. I like it. Okay. Good to know.
So, and I'm trying to figure out how to watch Ash versus the Evil Dead because I don't have a Star subscription. So, if anybody out there in Internet Land wants to lend me their Star subscription account,
We'll safeguard it.
watch Ash versus the Evil Dead. That would be awesome.
So what are we binge watching?
I'm gonna finish watching the Aziz Ansari show.
Yeah. Me too. I'm also gonna do Amazon pilot season, and I'm gonna continue to watch Desperate Housewives.
Nice. Marcus?
I think I am going to, I don't know, just from this conversation, I'm actually going to go watch Guardians of the Galaxy because I remember we still have that file in our email.
No.
I'm going to go watch that. I'm probably going to continue my Sex and the City marathon watch. And I'm probably going to go watch, what was that other show that I was just looking at?
Conrad Rick and Mora in it.
Maybe. Well, actually, I do need to catch up on How to Get Away with Murder, so I am going to do that. So.
Okay. So, so now this is the part where we get into the social media. So if you want to tell us about a new show, anything you want us to talk about on our podcast, you can email us at couchlords@gmail.com. You can tweet us at couchlords, and we each have our own perspective Twitter accounts. I'm Alex Armanas. Monroe, what are you?
Alexandra Sarah M.
I have not been on it.
Alexandra Sarah M.
And Marcus, what are you?
And mine is Marcus D. Steele.
And again, we are the Couch Lords. We're also on. You can listen to us on iTunes Podcast, SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, and we have several. We're up basically on all the podcast apps out there. So go ahead and find us, Couch Lords. And again, we are the Couch Lords, and Django. We're looking at Django the cat right now.
Wait. Don't forget, next week, too, we'll all be in the same room again.
Oh, yeah. Next episode of the Couch Lords, we will all be in the same room. We'll be tossing back a few mimosas, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a fun episode. So, yeah, thanks for bearing with us as, we get together on Google Hangout, but we promise we'll be together next time. And again, we are the Couch Lords, where we sit.
We watch.
And we conquer.
We did it! Okay, guys, see you next time.
Bye.
Hour 8 minutes.
An 8?